right, hello everyone. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing some frameworks for governance in a distributed ledger technology-based financial system. If that sounds interesting to you, then stick around. Briefly want to also share that I'm not a blockchain expert and not making any claims, simply just asking questions and trying to satisfy my curiosity. And of course, none of this is financial advice. So the concepts and actual implementation of blockchain governance, of course, is always evolving, and I can't possibly have it all figured out. But here I just want to explore a few things that may give us some clues as to what type of structure and authority blockchain governance might take on. And then also in the back of my mind, I'm continuing to ask the question, how might this become implemented with a network like Corium? And as a holder of the core tokens, if a relationship between DLT governance and Corium is in fact true, then I believe it's important to become thoroughly educated as a holder so we can make the most informed decisions. And I'm going to start by reviewing this white paper on DLT governance by the DTCC. So it says governance for corporate or enterprise networks. So it says permission DLT networks for corporate and enterprise contexts require a creation of rules and governance over who can do what. Building a viable DLT network for a community of cooperating but competitive corporations depends on the realization of a common set of standards and practices. Even more important is establishing who is accountable for the network when unexpected circumstances occur or workflows and contracts fail. While the continuing evolution of the technology may eventually provide opportunities to leverage public permissionless platforms, the focus of this document is to define a DLT governance operating model for permissioned DLT networks. And it also says building a viable DLT network for a community of cooperating but competitive corporations depends upon the realization of a common set of standards and practices. Also on Corda's documentation, which is another permissioned DLT framework, they also identify that one of the original blockchain use cases was intended to democratize social policy and financial governance. We also have Corda talking about diversifying good governance and citing on-chain governance as introducing some benefits and some challenges, and then the challenges specifically being potential plutocratic distribution of governance power. The DTCC paper also stated organized governance and operating models that are built for the unconflicted benefit of the full community with rules of conduct, best practices, transparent accountability, and exception management are the real-world answers to making these systems work as intended. The DTCC also stating at its core, DLT is an enhanced database that integrates data as well as the business rules associated with the data, so the emergent models of data governance become a critical core competency for a DLT network. DLT introduces several aspects that are different from how the industry operates today. And in regards to accountability for unforeseen problems, it says, therefore, a DLT governance operating model must include administrative tools to react to idiosyncratic events to serve as a circuit breaker in the system, transparently and accountably modifying the state of the ledger when errors or adverse systems events incur, improve the business logic and rules if there are any flaws or conditions change, and adjust the operating model itself as the needs of the community evolve. So specifically, the concept of a circuit breaker to me could potentially mean that a governing body has the ability or capability to break off the function of a certain chain should any what is deemed misbehavior take place. And another clip that I feel is related to the circuit breaker concept is this. The exception management process within the support function is required to support full root cause analysis as well as the ability to fix things that are broken in a manner that aligns with the design of the DLT and maintains the integrity of the ledger. Administrators must be able to stop or suspend smart contracts, change existing smart contracts, potentially through exiting a faulty contract and invoking a new contract, change reference data in a transparent and accountable manner, and have the necessary tools to fix things when they are broken. And relating to infrastructure, it says, the infrastructure component of the governance operating model addresses oversight of the core network management functions. So they have network management, cybersecurity options, environment management, resiliency or business continuity, and DLT network compliance or risk. A few more clips from the DTCC regarding transparency. Says if a financial system is only as strong as the governing practices and institutions of its participants, transparent policies and rules, along with accountable and responsible governance, are a prerequisite. The promise of DLT is to build a system once, share data and information across a community, and realize tremendous efficiencies and eliminate the different data schemas, different language constructs, and individual interpretation of business rules and contracts. DLT is a multi-party workflow platform that validates and stores transactions using a consistent shared data model and contract language. However, this can only work if strong, accountable, and transparent governance is in place to implement and manage the rules, practices, and processes for any community of competitive parties. So when I hear the word transparent, I gravitate towards thinking of a potential integration with a public blockchain, because in order for things to be public and transparent, you will need to be operating on a permissionless or public blockchain, whereas an underlying DLT, such as Corda, for example, is a private permissioned blockchain. So if you've been playing around with DeFi and specifically on Cosmos chains, you've probably seen your Kepler dashboard and voted on a proposal or two. And another thought is that potentially the functions of governance and also potentially the function of DAOs may function considerably similar to the Cosmos-based change of today. Due to the way that cooperation around blockchain is shaping up, it seems like enterprises are very interested in the same technology building blocks, like the Inter-Blockchain Communication Protocol, like Tendermint Consensus, and like WASM smart contracts that also build the Cosmos. So I also wanted to just briefly mention the Zen Lounge validator, which is a validator that Zen is setting up on the Corium network. And if you ask me, this validator is one of the most powerful initiatives being taken on behalf of we the people right now, because it could allow us to pool our governance power and to influence the changes that we want to see. And of course, economics and governance are two major powerful forces that shape the world that we see today. And as we can see, the current setup is far from a true democratic process. And so having this validator and the governance power that could come along with it is absolutely profound, in my opinion. So that's all I've got for today. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for tuning in. All the documents referenced in this video will be available in the description below if you'd like to read on more. Like I said, there's a lot more to learn, at least for me, and at the very least, I hope that this video can initiate some deeper inquiry into the topic of governance. So thanks again for watching. Leave me a comment if you want to see more videos like this, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you in the next one.